name is Jackie Spears, Canton Farmers Market Coordinator. I'm here with Bob from Boblin Honey, and he's showing us around his apiary today. Bob, what do you have here?
Well, I think maybe we'll start with how a hive's put together so that everybody kind of understands, what's it all about. So, first thing we have in a hive is we've got a bottom board. And the bottom board's got a screen in it so that, if everybody's heard about mites and bees and all the colony collapse, that screen helps. The mites will fall off the bee, they'll fall through the screen, so we kind of get rid of some of them anyways. It helps. It's a nice natural way to do it without chemicals. The other thing we have is this is called a super. Some people call it a box, but this is what the bees live in. So inside of that, we have frames, and this frame has got what they call foundation in here. This is what we give the bees to start on so they can start building the hive. And it helps them, instead of letting them do it all by themselves, it helps them do this a little faster, saves them some time. And each pound of wax costs about 12 to 15 pounds of honey. So if we give them a start, we kind of save some honey. So this would go on here like this, okay? And then we got another one here. This box is full of honey. And Jackie here has tried to lift this up. It probably weighs about 50, 60 pounds. She had a hard time. But here's a frame of honey, okay? So this is what the bees make, and they use this. So if you see the little cells in here, when they get that wax and they draw it out, all these little cells, they use it to fill with honey. They'll put their pollen in here. They'll raise their babies in here. This is, integral part of the hive. And this is what, so everybody can kind of understand what's in this thing and how it's done. So we'll put about 50 pounds up here. So to complete this, normally we'd have another box on top. That would be the hive for the bees. And then if the fourth box goes on top and they're going to put honey in that, that's what I can steal later on and sell to everybody. So,
very cool.
Okay. This is what they call an inner cover. That goes on the hive. The bees make a thing called propolis out of tree sap, and everything in the hive is coated with it. It's like an antibacterial. That any little cracks they fill in with it. This is the most sterile environment in nature, and that's how they keep it sterile. They fill all the cracks with this stuff. It's sticky, real sticky. It's worse than gum. So this cover on the inside keeps them from sticking this cover on the top. So that keeps all the weather off of them. And then when we need, we can take that off and pry the other cover off, and we'll do that when we go back. And basically, this is what a hive is put together out of. So this is what we're going to be dealing with the rest of the day, or the rest of the film.
Very cool. So each hive will just have one queen in it, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then how many other bees will be in it?
Well, right now there's probably about 20, 30,000.
Wow.
But they'll peak out in July at about 60, 70,000 bees.
Okay. Wow.
And you figure that hive probably over the summer will raise about maybe 250, 300,000 bees total.
Okay.
Bees, they only last about 6 weeks. So they'll go from nurse bee, the foraging bee, or from nurse bee to maybe an undertaker bee to wax bee, and then to a guard bee, and then finally to a forager.
Okay, so they'll keep breeding all season long to replace the ones that are dying every 6 weeks or so.
Right. Yeah, the queen will lay about 3,000 eggs a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the different roles of the bees that are in there?
Okay, so we have worker bee. The worker bee, which is, I hate to say this, is all females. I always get a hard time about this. So, and they collect water. The hive needs about 1 liter of water in the summer. And just think about this. This is 1 liter of water, a little drop at a time. Okay.
How do they carry that?
They got 2 stomachs. So they got a honey stomach and they got a regular stomach. So if they're getting water, they're going to have water in their stomach. And if they're getting nectar, they're going to have nectar in that stomach.
Okay.
But they'll go in and then spit that up to another bee, and then they go back out and that bee takes care of it in the hive. Okay. Then there's a drone bee, which is the only thing he does is mate. He goes out one time, he's dead. So he flies out and they find an area where all the drones congregate, and the queen bee goes there, she mates. The other one's the queen bee. The only thing she does is lay eggs. So after she mates, she spends the rest of her time pretty much laying eggs, and 2,000 to 3,000 a day when she peaks out. And you know, she's real busy.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
So.
Okay, so how many pounds of honey will you get from one hive, would you say, in a season?
The Michigan average is about 45 pounds.
Wow.
I'd probably average about 60, 70.
Okay.
But, you know, it just all depends what area you're in. I got a couple places that we got hives. And I got a number of hives in Ypsilanti and Canton, probably about 75, 80. And then we got about another 100 in Manchester, Tecumseh, and Adrian. But I got 2 areas that'll give me 150 pounds a hive.
Wow, that's a lot of honey.
So that makes up for what you don't get someplace else, you know.
Right,
so.
right. Okay, cool. Well, should we go back and see the hives in action?
I think we should do that.
Okay, cool.
Okay. We're going to light a smoker. This helps the bees, helps us keep the bees calm. Basically, they think the forest is on fire, and they go in and start eating honey and get ready to leave their hive.
Instead of focusing on us.
Yeah, instead of paying attention to us.
You can hear the buzzing. Kind of unnerving.
The buzzing is, the buzzing isn't the unnerving thing. If you smell bananas.
Smell banana?
Yeah, if you smell bananas.
Why is that bad?
Because that's the alarm pheromone, and they've released so much of it into the air that you can smell it. At that point,
then you need to worry.
Yeah.
It's time to run.
Nah. You just know that they're really mad.
There we go.
Might be time to work faster and get out. Geez, we've given lessons on how to light smokers. We're smoking out the cameraman. Come on. I'm looking for the flames to come up through the chips. Once it does that, then I know we're lit good. It's my hand cramps. We should be good. There we go. So what we'll do is we're going to start on the hive down here on the end. This is a hive we just put in about a week ago. The queens have just gotten out, so we'll probably be able to see a queen bee because there ain't a lot of bees that we can find her.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a queen in 50,000 bees. It's easy in a couple thousand, so that's what we'll do. So we'll go down here on the end and open that hive up. Okay. Basically what we do is we kind of smoke the hive a little bit. Okay. Smoke them on top a little bit. Give them a second. Okay. Kind of let everybody tell everybody that, hey, there's smoke here. And you know, so take off the cover. This is the inner cover. We'll take that off. Okay. So this ain't a lot of bees. This is, like I said, we just put in what we call a package. It's a box of bees. And you take them, you put them in, you basically take it and just shake it until all the bees come out. Wow. There's a queen that's in the cage, this thing here. There's a queen cage, and this is what the queen comes in. And this side of the cage has a bunch of, like a better frosting in it. And when we put it in the hive, the bees like sweet stuff. They eat all the frosting out. It takes them about 2-3 days, and they let the queen out. And in that time, they're getting used to the queen because these bees were just all poured together, a new queen thrown in. And if you do that too quick, you introduce her, they'll kill her. So this gives them about 2-3 days. And the queen's got a pheromone, so the bees get the pheromone and they pass it off to each other. And they're telling each other, the queen's fine, everybody's good, queen's fine. When that pheromone goes away, then it becomes an emergency situation. We got to raise a new queen. So, anyways, so let's go in here and take a look. Let's see here. It's actually kind of work out nice. Okay, so here's our bees. Okay, if you notice, this was a new piece of comb. Look at how there's here, and they're drawing this as they're going across. And everybody says you can't do this. You can't blow on bees. Yeah, you can.
Huh.
And if you look right in here, this is all full of eggs into them cells. So if you look in here, you can grab it, grab the frame, either side. If you look, see the little white lines in there?
Yeah.
It's okay. They're going to buzz you. Can you see the little white lines inside there? See, look in the cells here. Get the thing. Come on. grab the frame. Okay, now look in here. So you can see the little white lines in there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's eggs.
Okay.
Okay. So the eggs, when a queen lays an egg, the egg is an egg for 3 days. On the 4th day, it turns into a pupae. And they'll feed that egg from the 4th day to the 9th day. They'll feed that larva. They don't turn into pupae, it turns into larva. And they feed it about, I don't know who counted this, about 375 times.
Wow.
So you figure there might be as many as 18,000 cells open that they're feeding at any one time. And they don't miss a one. They do it in the dark. There's no lights. We haven't wired it for electric yet. Oh, the other thing we didn't notice. See that right there? That's the queen. She's right there.
Oh, she's big.
See how big she is? Yep. So that's
Moving around.
Yep, she's looking for cells to lay in. And she looks in them and she backs in with her feet and feels the cell size. And she'll lay a fertilized egg in a worker cell, and she'll lay an unfertilized egg in a drone cell to raise a drone.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, an unfertilized egg, but you can see her, she's right here.
Yeah.
This is this queen here, since she's golden like that, that's an Italian. Yeah, it's a race of bees, so.
Huh.
Okay, so since that frame is on there, we're gonna take this one out. Come on, hold this for a second. There you go. You're good.
Getting up under this.
Yeah. Huh?
I have them in here. Into your sears.
Oh, you're dead. The waist ain't tight. Ooh.
Oh.
No, you're okay.
What?
They are.
Waist isn't tightened. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can find. Okay, so if we look in here, see all the clear or the liquid in here?
Yeah.
They're bringing in honey. That's nectar.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so they get nectar. 90 to 95% of their nectar comes from trees, not flowers. And it also takes approximately 5 million flowers, and again, I don't know who's counting this, to make a pound of honey. So just figure out how much work these guys do.
Yeah.
And each bee will contribute about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey to each before it dies.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so that's that. Let's put this one back. Now, if we get a little lucky, this frame here should have brood on it. So come on back. Come on. Get in here. You guys ain't chickening out on me, man. No more chickening out. Okay. Let's see if we've got brood. Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, there's a lot of bees on here. Okay. This hive don't have a lot though. So let's see. So if you look in here, and then we'll show it to camera. Look in them cells. See the little white down in the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably about a 5-day-old larva in there.
Huh.
Okay. Okay. In the bottom of the cells, you can just see a little white in there. The larva has just turned into, or the eggs have just turned into larvae. And the bees are just starting to feed them. Here, look at the bottom. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then this is a brand new queen, so she's been in here a week. This is really good. She's gotten out of the cage, and in 1 week, she's already got that whole side, this whole frame right in here is all full of eggs. I mean, not full of eggs, but full of little larvae. On this side, it's even bigger. Yeah, maybe not quite, but we'll find another hive with some bigger stuff. But the same thing goes here. You can see all the larvae on there.
You might say she's a busy bee.
We had to get one of the puns in. We had to get a pun in.
I don't want to be cheesy.
So anyway, so okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a bigger hive here. It's got more bees. We just put a new queen in this hive 2 days ago, so we're going to show you that queen. She's in a little cage. She's in a little bit different cage. And she's still in there yet. They haven't let her out, but it's almost, got about another day maybe she'll be out. If we can see in there, they won't get off. They're being a pain. She's black. Okay, this queen has got a real black body. This is called a carnelian. These are the queens I like to use. They seem to survive the winter better, and the bees seem to like them too. So you can mix. The bees don't care if they're Italian and you put in a carnelian, or a carnelian and put in an Italian. They really don't care. They just care that it's a queen bee. So what we're going to look for here, I'd like to find a frame of big larvae or pupae. So here we got a frame, okay. You can see this area right here. This is what they call cap brood. So all the larvae was 9 days old. They put a cap on it, turns them into pupae, and after 21 days, they'll hatch. And they'll hatch at full size, and that's the size they're going to be. Awesome. Now, if you notice, it's kind of in a little semicircle there. Mm-hmm. There's honey here. This is pollen. They brought in pollen. This happens to be yellow and light yellow, just a little bit, and there's no other color. Sometimes we get red and black too. So they keep the pollen close. They take a little bit of pollen, a little bit of honey, they feed the larvae. So this way they don't have to go far. They got it all around the outside, and they're feeding. If you look inside, see the white dots? See how big they are? That's them. Now that's probably about a 6-7 day old larva. Wow. Okay, see how much they got bigger?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the other side, got pretty much the same thing. Got all mixed together. And you notice these bees are like black, real dark. Mm-hmm. The other ones are golden. They don't mix. Some bees, so you can see here, that's an Italian.
Yeah.
So one bee will come to, you know, if the bees got something, if the bees carrying pollen or something like that, they'll let them in their hive. If, you know, you're going to give us something for free, we'll take it. We'll take it. Okay. So, let's see here.
So the box that the bees come in when you get them, how do you get them from there into here?
Okay, so the box is it's a square box or a rectangle about this long, that wide, about that tall. Mm-hmm. Screen on each side, big hole in the top. So there's a thing over the hole, and if we've seen some of these cans laying around, there's a can in the middle, and that's got corn syrup in it. The corn syrup drips out as they're coming. We bring them up from Georgia. These queens come out of Georgia, or the packages come out of Georgia. And that's what the bees eat. Okay. So it's about an 18-hour drive. So when they pack the truck with them, we get them 18 hours later. At that point, you take them. You can take the thing that's holding the can in off. You slip the can out. And before you do that, you spray them with sugar water. And if it's a nice warm day, you just hose them down real good. You get everybody all sticky. They can't fly, they can't go anywhere, and you just turn the can, the package upside down, and you just shake it, bang it, and all the bees come out, and they're all sticky, they can't fly. You get the queen is in that cage, the first cage that we showed. You put the queen in the bottom, and put it all back together, and just leave them go for about 3-4 days, and then come back and check to make sure the queen has gotten out of the cage. So as soon as, because what you want is, you don't want her in the cage more than about 3-4 days if you can help it. Get her out and get her laying. The sooner she starts laying eggs, the faster the hive grows and the more honey we get. That's the whole deal. The whole thing is to get the hive and keep it strong. I mean, we've heard about mites. A lot of people don't, you know, and everybody's heard about mites. There's also a thing called hive beetles. There's a thing called wax moths, okay? These are all pests that can get in your hive. Of course, we all know about mites. Mites can bite the bees, and they suck the juice out, or the blood out of the bee. the thing of it is bees don't heal. So once that has got an open wound, if that bee gets a virus, everybody gets a virus. So it's really important to keep the mites down in the hive. So we do treat with some, in the spring with a chemical. The rest of the year we treat with organic compounds. And that bottom board we had, the mites fall off, they go through that, so that helps. Hive beetles, they lay eggs and their little larvae start crawling through stuff. If there's a lot of bees, as they're laying eggs, then bees are taking them out of the hive or getting rid of them. And they'll chase the hive beetles up into one spot in the hive, and they'll put propolis around them and keep them like in jail.
Wow.
Okay, but the beetles, believe this or not, know if they stroke the bees will feed them. So the bees are actually feeding the beetles, and they won't totally enclose them. They'll keep them there all year, or till you disturb them. And so it's kind of crazy. Wax moths get in, they lay eggs, and their larvae eat through the wax, and they make like a spider web. And if you get about 1,000 wax moths, 2,000 wax moths larvae in here, there's pictures on the website. It's just one great big cobweb. Wow. You actually got to kick the stuff out. It won't come out. You got to kick the frames out of here. So, but a strong hive keeps them from getting disease, helps control the mites, helps control the hive beetles, helps control the wax moths. So you're trying to raise a strong hive as you can. So,
awesome.
So let's put this little bugger back together. Okay, so if you notice how everybody's gathered on the queen.
They're trying to get her out?
Well, yeah, you can see the ones going inside. He'll go inside and they'll keep eating the frosting out of there until they finally get her out. So what I'm going to do is put her back. We're talking about treating for mites. There's a mite strip right there.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is the bees rub against that, and then they spread the chemical throughout the hive, and it kills the mites. Okay, so we'll set her back. Okay. And let's see here. And that's it. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us around today. This has been so cool. I never thought I'd be by this many bees at once.
And see, was it really that bad?
It was a little scary, but made it out without getting stung, so.
Yep. I told you. You know, everybody's really scared. And I mean, you know, as long as you don't get in here and the things, if you're ever around a beehive and you see one, you want to go up, a lot of times you can walk right up to this and look at them. They're even going to bother you. Don't wear red, don't wear black.
All right.
Bees use ultraviolet to see stuff, and red, they don't have that on their spectrum. So with them not having that on the red they can't see, so they see red as black. And black is a bear. And a bear means somebody's going to come get their honey. So they will attack a bear, okay?
Oh no.
So the big thing around the hive, just don't wear red or black.
And you're good?
And you're probably pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, thanks so much for having us out today.
That's great. It was a lot of fun and hopefully did a little education.
Definitely learned a lot. Never got stung once. I'm Jackie Spears, Canton Farmers Market Coordinator. I'll see you at the market.